Good morning, everybody. It is the button I pushed. There we go. So, good morning, everybody. It is Friday, March 10th, 2017. And we're starting a little bit early because I have to keep today's stream as focused as possible. I've got sick people at home. So, as per normal, if anyone has any questions that we can try and help out with, I'll be more than happy to try and help out with. Oh, it would help if I unmuted the music audio. There we go. Okay. Let's try that again. So yeah, if anyone has any questions we can try to help out with, feel free to ask at any time. We'll try to help out as best as we can. If not, we're working on our little RTS HUD example. We got the basics finished up on Wednesday, where we have a HUD layout where we have some buttons, but we can click on items and have that HUD layout change based on what it is. So kind of like a reaction type system, which is good. The goal today was to bring our camera out, fix it to a different location, and then try to actually set up buttons to do stuff in a generic way. And hello everyone who's watching. Hello James. So I don't think I can do things super duper blah blah blah. What was it? I has a brain that's not functioning today. Super duper generic. I mean, I'd love to be able to, for example, we have our action items here. So, we have 0, which is our blank, and then we have our other ones: move, stay, patrol, destroy. Let's add another one in here, because I just realized we could probably add in like attack. And then any items that use these things need to... I already have the red one used. Oh, what are we going to use for an attack icon? I'll have a little dude as an attack icon. I've never really done something super generic like this properly. Usually I just screw around with doing it improperly, and I'm wondering if there's even a way to do it properly. And what I mean by that is to have things as generic as possible passed on. For example, our buildings probably aren't going to have an attack. Probably not a patrol, probably not a stay here, probably not a move to. It could have a destroy this item. It can have a blank, and you know what? Let's go ahead and let's add in a number 6 in here. And we'll call this construct. And here's kind of where the issue comes in. Okay, so yeah, I need to talk this one out, I think. So we have our menu here. Let's say I clicked on this building, and let's say this building is a factory, and it builds 3 different things. So we should have a couple basic options in here. For example, we'd have destroy if we want to destroy the building, and maybe an upgrade option if we can upgrade. But then we'd also have, build unit A, build unit B, and build unit C, because it can build 3 units. Now, are those generic events such as construct unit, and then we pass along specific information such as the unit we construct, and then it pulls that information from somewhere else? Or do we keep a completely different item ID for everything? For example, construct peon, construct warrior, construct worker, construct eagle, construct lancer, construct archer. I'm wondering which way would be smarter. I'm thinking we're going to do it this generic method in here rather than the one. Yes, we do. Okay, so the question is, can't you do a base class, which we have right here, a building and a unit class, that abstracts those that are the same and then have a building class that inherits from base? And yes, we can. That is the plan. But in terms of our UI, how does our UI determine what it's supposed to display and what it's supposed to do? Because this is less about the actual RTS parts and more about the UI parts. For example, we have 3 buttons here. This one builds unit A, this one builds unit B, this one builds unit C. How do we define inside of here which one's A, B, and C? How do we define what the icon looks like? And how do we define what happens to these buttons when we click on them to tell the actual selected unit what it's supposed to do? Yeah. The actual RTS parts of this, we are not working on. We're not creating an RTS. There's no resources. There's no money. There's no time. There's none of that stuff. We're not making an RTS. We're doing an RTS HUD to do interactability, interoperability, interfaces, and things like that. So this is more of a generic question on how do we have things communicate to each other, either generically or specifically. I'm going to go with the specific method for now, and we'll see if we need to break that out into a better method. And I just realized that... poop. So let's say, yeah, let me do something here. Let's try the first method I'm thinking of here. And let's see what issues we run into. So let's say we have build peon, and then we have build archer, and we have build warrior. And I'm gonna need icons just to make sure these look different. Okay, so we have 3 different icons, 3 different things, 3 different builds. So let's say I want to assign these to my building here. Let's say this square block is going to be our building. This is just a base building for now, but it works for our example purposes. So inside of our default action items, we would check it out. We have 7, 8, and 9. So for example, I could have 7, 8, and 9. Now when I run this, I have 7, 8, and 9 for building my 3. So these are pretty easy. Now when I click on this one, it's going to have to do something. When I click on this one, it's going to have to do something. When I click on this one, it's going to have to do something. Now we have an ID that it's matched to, so we could easily pull this information out. But right now, this is just a visual representation. There's not really anything here that does anything. So we either need to add in, for example, the action type, or we need to add in the command name, which we can't really even do. Crap. I'm trying not to link things together, but I don't think we can not link things together. I can give these buttons the IDs, but then these IDs, or these names technically too. I didn't even finish their names. Let me finish these names in here. Now, I think I know what I'm going to do to try to get this work right now. And then we'll see how stupid it is in the long run. Because I already know that this will probably be the longer way of doing it. Well, the more fixed way of doing it. But I think we can... we'll figure it out. That's the whole point of this. And hello, everyone else. Let's see. I was wondering if you could help me achieve a quick crouch responsive HUD, which shows a standing icon for standing and a crouching icon for crouching. Nicholas, what do you mean exactly by that? I mean, you just switching out 2 different icons based on the state of the player? I mean, is that what we're going to do? It sounds like that might be what you're asking for. Print structure. Let's see. Struct. Oh, first of all, RTS HUD. Struct action. Actions. Yeah, that's what we're gonna go with. Okay. Let me... Oh, I did not want a struct. I wanted an enum. Dagnabbit. Hold on a second. Alex, Nicholas, give me a second. Let me finish what I was doing because I distracted myself. RTS HUD. enum actions. This is what I'm thinking. I don't know if this is the smart way of doing it, but we're going to figure it out. So this is going to be build. I don't know why I call it build, but why not? And this one's going to be attack. This one's going to be halt. Let's go through stop. I need to find the... See, this is when a global design document is good because you standardize all of your stuff. Build, attack, stop, destroy. Okay, so we're just going to go with this for now, and then I'll go back to finish that up. Let's see if we can help out the other person, Nicholas. Let's see. So this is like a toggle widget display. Go into a new map. User interface widget, player HUD. And then we'll just simply do something really stupid here. PP player HUD. Like this. Okay. Just ignore what I'm doing for now. Instead of dragging over a player and manipulating a player, I'm going to... I need to rename some stuff. Give me a second. Widget. I'm just going to have a blueprint stand here in the middle and pretend it's the player, basically. Okay, so we don't have a player HUD. So let's say we have an image down here. We're going to lock our image to the bottom right. 1, 1. We're going to bring it in 30 and in 30. Size it to the content like that. And by default, whoops, that's not the right button. Oh, seriously? Oh, this is that stupid bug I hate that they added in 4.15. Okay, so what do we want for standing? Wasn't there a little dude in here somewhere? Like just grabbed? Okay, we'll go with that for standing. And you know what? Let's not size this content. That is way too small. Like that. There we go. Okay. Let's see if it shows up. Okay, cool. Hello, everybody. Zachary, I'll get to you in a second. But basically, you can tell if your player's moving left or right by getting their left or right vector. And then comparing it to their forward vector, probably, getting the dot product between the two of them. I know it sounds silly, but give me a second. Let's see. So this is our player icon is what we're going to call it. And then we make a custom event called toggle icon. And this is going to be set brush from texture. And this one goes here, and then we'll copy this and paste this. This one goes here, and this is going to be flippity floppity. Obviously, some of this code should be altered based on if the player is currently standing or not. Actually, I can probably, let's see, get player character is crouched. If bloop, go like that. So if they're crouched, we're going to put that one. If they're not, so this one will be our standing dude wherever he went to. Oh crap! You know this doesn't help me at all. I need bigger icons. Oop. It doesn't help that I don't have anything super duper usable. Oh my gosh, okay. You know what? Into content, textures, there we go. This will make it a little easier to look through. I could swear I had a dude standing up and I've lost him. I don't have a dude standing down, but actually this one's going to work good for the dude standing down. So if he's crouched, we're going to use that asset. And where'd the standing guy go? Oh, did I pass him again? Nope, that's a different one. There we go. There's our standing dude. We're going to use him as the standing dude. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so basically when we call this event, it should check and see if the player's crouched, and then it will set the icon to if it's crouched or not. So inside of our player HUD blueprint, we're going to intercept some keys in here. We're going to have the Z key as our crouch button. We're going to, where's it? I need my defaults and auto receive input. There we go. Let's make sure this works before I do anything. Okay, cool. Z key's working. And this one will just simply be a flip flop. Actually, we don't even need to do that. Let's see, get the player character. Get is crouched. We're going to not that. Well, actually, just get it. Let's see. What's the easiest way of doing this? We're going to want to crouch him. So he's going to be the opposite. So get the player character. We're going to tell him to crouch. Let's see, what are we going to do? If. We're going to if this one. So we have to do another if here. So if he is crouched, he's going to uncrouch. And if he's not crouched, he's going to crouch. So uncrouch, uncrouch. For the love of God. Seriously? You're going to make me drag off the stupid player again? Thank you. Okay, so that should work for toggling the crouch on the player. Let's see if that works. I honestly have no idea if that's working. Oh, because I don't have an actual character in here, so that really doesn't help. Whoops, not the RTS game mode, seriously? There we go, okay. So I, in theory, should be crouching right now. We'll figure that out. But after this, then we are going to... Uh-oh, I lost my code. Where'd it go? Oh, this is the wrong player. This is what I meant. Keep in mind, it may look like I'm jumping back and forth because I am, but I will cover everything I'm doing once I get something working. I'm basically just seeing if we can make this work. Bloop. And then we're going to toggle the icon. Bloop. Bloop. Let's see what happens here, shall we? Okay, obviously we're failing miserably on this one. I have a feeling I am not getting this code right here. Let's find out. Okay, no, we are getting this code. Well, now you're just going to be rude to me, aren't you? So let's see if we can figure out what we're breaking, shall we? That's not it. Okay, so that one is... Oh. No, yeah, see, that should be crouching the character, right? There you go. Yep, you're right, Nicholas. I didn't allow the player to crouch, did I? This is also one reason why I tend to character improvement. Can crouch. Wants to... No, I want can crouch. Can crouch. There we go. I always forget that. That seems like a really weird thing to have disabled by default. Okay. So, whoops. Anyways, this is the basics of it. This should work. I don't know why he's not allowing... He is turned on crouching. He can crouch. Is the third-person character I'm using. Assuming I'm using this character, which I may not be because I've been playing with a lot of stuff. This is one problem when I start grabbing stuff from different places and start doing it. Here, let's see what happens. Yeah, see, I'm not using the third-person character. I'm using... Yep, see, I'm using the wrong friggin' character, too. See, that really doesn't help. Seriously. There we go. Okay, now we've got it working. It would help if we actually... I didn't have like a billion different stupid characters. Anyways, we've got it working there. If you look in the bottom right, you can see the icon working. Whee, like that. My default is obviously wrong because my default is stupid. Anyways, none of that really matters. The point here is wherever my crouch code is, I'm checking to see if the player's crouched or not and crouching them. So this stuff you can ignore. This is you've got set up already. But all I'm doing is basically talking to my user interface and telling it to toggle the icon. The toggle icon is really simple. We're just simply grabbing our controller, asking if it's crouched. If it is, we're setting the brush from a texture. And this will set up the standing or crouching, and this will set up the standing or crouching, depending on if it is or is not crouched. This is all you need. This is all you need to add. You just need to add this event to your user interface, hook it up properly, and by properly I mean hook it up to whatever your icon image is, and then tell it to set the brush from texture. These are the nodes you're looking for right here. And just tell it to do it based on if it's crouched or not. That's really simple. And then just call this event after you toggle your crouching on or off. So that's probably hopefully this is the basics of what you're looking for. Let's see. Zlotty is asking, I want to v-interp the location of a cube while it's attached to my moving character. The thing is, the cube doesn't reach the location because the character is moving. That's correct. How can I make the cube reach the position with the smooth movement without using a v-interp? If the cube is attached to the character and your character moves, then the cube is going to have issues trying to reach its target at all times because it's going to be fighting with the character. Is there any reason the cube needs to be attached? I mean, what are we trying to accomplish here? I think it would be a good question. Isaiah, let's see. Yeah, Kazume's probably got the right answer. Isaiah's asking, he's working on a third-person game, and the third person was working, but now it's making me fly like I'm in the editor. That's probably what I ran into here. Inside of my map that I'm in the world settings, you can change your game mode. If by default it's set to none, you're going to end up with this. You're going to end up with the spectator pawn. If you've changed that back to whatever your proper game mode is, you'll end up getting the correct pawn. So check and see if your game mode on your map, that can be accessed under Window, World Settings. See if the game mode is incorrect. Yeah. And Zlotty hopefully will give us a little more information. We'll see if we can help him. Zachary, I'm trying to transition to a turning left animation from a standstill in my anim state. In order to enter the left transition, I need to know if the player is actually turning left. Well, the, shoot, where was the, oh, crap. Hold on a second, there's... This has to do with the vectors, and trying to remember the right way of doing it. Okay, so you could get the right. I want to say if it's pot. Dang it! I did this one before. Shoot. Oh crap. Okay, so let's see if we have anything in here. Sorry about that. I've done this already, and I'm trying to remember where it was at that I did it. And of course, I'm having trouble remembering. Because you have your left. Let's do a new map. Whoops. New map. And oops. Let's grab our third person game mode. There we go. And our third person character. And then, whoops, tick, tick, please. Thank you. Get right vector. We can do the get actor right vector would work. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so yeah, you have to, oh man, I'm trying to remember the correct way of doing this. Dang it. Oh, oh shoot. Okay, so yeah, Kazume probably has the right answer. There's a UE4 root motion controller video that'll probably help you out. It has to do with math and the dot product between the right vector and the forward vector. Unfortunately, with math and animation systems, I just don't think I have the ability to whip out an example right now. If you still have problems here in a little bit, I'll see if I can help you out. There is right here. Oops. There is a thread from last year on the forums. That right here, let me paste this. That answers how to do stuff like that, to tell if someone's turning left or right. Let's see, Darkcraft. How do you make a keyboard in Unreal? Like when you type a letter, it writes that letter for the whole keyboard. Yep, definitely confused on that one. Kazume's asking for more information. We'll go with Jack. Can you help me please how to save game data on the web? Unfortunately, I cannot. That is going to require something either in C++, using the C++ libraries or TCP libraries, or it's going to require a plugin, and unfortunately, I don't have the ability to do that. Built into Blueprints, there's no way to get data out onto the web naturally. There's no like HTTP getters or getters, setters, pushes, post, and the other one. Anyways, there's no direct HTTP access in Blueprints right now, unfortunately. How do you change game mode in the game? You do not. The game modes, wait, let me rephrase that. I'm pretty sure you cannot change the game mode inside the game. It's tied to the map itself. You can get it, you just can't set it. I'm 99% sure you can't set the game mode at runtime, because it is tied to the map itself. Used a cube for an example. It's actually a vector location that calculates the position of the character every tick, and then when I hit something, it v-interprets a little bit forward. Yeah, okay, hopefully that one's helpful. If you use a timeline, yeah, see, Zilati, basically what are you trying to accomplish? What's your end goal here? Are you trying to move the character from one position to another and they're getting knocked back, or what are they doing, something like that? Darkcraft, how do you communicate through a level? Like you do something one level that will tell another level you did something, like an unlocking level system. You have two easy ways of doing that. You can either write out to a save game object and then load it up whenever you load the next level, or you can use the game instance, which is something that will persist throughout the entire game's progress. So for example, you start up the game instance loads up, any of the information in the game instance is available, and then when you shut the game down, it goes away, and it will stay between levels. Pratt, you're not going to be able to change the game mode after level streaming. The game mode is tied to the level. That's just what it is. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. As far as I know, you cannot change the game mode at runtime. We can double check. Let's see. Changing game mode at runtime. Set game mode only spawns a new game mode. If it's null, it's not null. Can't change the game mode without reloading the level. Yeah, it looks like you are not intended to change the game mode at runtime. How can you switch to spectator? I tried to accomplish that on player controller, but no luck. Is there a way to create a ghost flying pawn to possess? Well, the spectator pawn itself, you could always spawn one and then possess it. Basically, let's see, I have... Where is the... We technically okay, so we technically... Where did my Epic Launcher go? We technically handle something like that in our networking stuff that we're learning. Once it loads up. I don't know if this is the proper way of doing it because we haven't learned the proper spectator system yet. We kind of made our own fake spectator system right here. But inside of our team game mode, right here, let me close down my other things right here. In our event graph, we're basically determining if we should spawn in a player or a spectator. And if we need a spectator, all we're doing for that is spawning in, using the spawn actor to spawn in a spectator pawn, and then telling the controller to possess it. That's all you need to do to possess a pawn. Make sure that the current controller, for example, if they already have something, you can just unpossess. This will remove whatever pawn is attached to the controller when you unpossess it. Then you could, for example, destroy actor and destroy whatever you just unpossessed. And then you could go ahead and spawn in your spectator pawn and possess that. That's probably the easiest way if you're trying to switch over to a spectator. That's your basic process. Basically, the controller is the person. The pawn that you possess is the thingy that you're controlling. So either unpossess the current one and possess a new one, or just possess a new one after you spawn it in. And the spectator spawn works perfectly fine. Okay, let's close that back down. Go this back up. What I'm trying to accomplish is when I hit F, my character moves his hands a bit forward, but the hands aren't reaching the target location because you're moving. That's probably going to happen, Zelati. You might need to lock the player into place if you're going to have him do that. At some point, I'm assuming you're going to hit a limit because of the fact that your mesh is only going to go so far. Other than that, you could always just run a timeline. If you run it through a timeline, you're going to have a fixed value at the start and the end. Might be the best method. Fill those values out into a timeline for your starting and your ending. You could just lerp between the two. You don't need to use an interp. Have you tried using just a lerp, Zelati? Lerping between your starting and ending instead of using a vinterp. That way, and then drive that with a timeline so you can forcibly make sure at the end you're at your end point, your end destination. That's what I would recommend trying. I'd love to make tutorials about particles. I just don't know anything about them. I'm not an artistic person, unfortunately, as much as I'd like to be. Yeah, Nando, hopefully that helps with the spectator. And everyone else who's got questions, hopefully you're getting some information. Yeah, for the most part, you're not going to be able to change the game mode at playtime because that's the way it's designed. It's tied to the level. Okay. What were we doing? Oh, these are the other things for the HUD. The HUD, here we go. And we're working on building stuff. Okay, so this was my thought process on that one. Where'd my RTS go? There we go. We have our struct for action items. We're going to do a new variable, and this will be our action type. And I spelled type wrong. I typoed type. And this will be our action struct. I called it action, right? Oh, here we go. Action. No, wait, that's not it. Here we go. Enum. That's what I meant to do. There we go. Okay. So this will give us the ability to identify what it's going to be. And then underneath that, we can identify other things. Okay, cool. I think this will work. I would try a lerp in a timeline, honestly. That's probably going to be your best bet, because the lerp, if you lerp and you give it an alpha of 1, it's going to return back whatever your end result is. So regardless of the moving, you're not going to try to catch up. It's just going to be at that fixed end position. Okay, so let's say we have, let's go back to this one. Okay, so we have our different types. So let's say this one is a, I don't know why I have so many things in here, but we're screwing around. That's what matters. So we have something called build peon. So this will be a build, and it's going to have to do, okay, so we're going to have a unit ID is what we're going to have. If something builds, we're going to have a unit ID. So let's do unit ID. And unit ID will be an integer, because this should be easy enough. Okay, cool. So that'll work. Let me move this out of the way. Now we have a unit ID. So for example, peon could be 0, archer could be 1, and warrior could be 2. So now, for example, if we called this one, I would pass along a build for the action type and pass along a unit ID for what I want to build. And then that thing could grab the appropriate things. And based on this, we can have another data table full of the units. And the unit, that's where we put information such as the cost for it and things like that. And if it has a prerequisite. Okay, I like that. I think that'll work. Because then if we have an action type of attack, we just pass along the attack command. If we have stop, we pass along the stop command. If we have destroy, we pass along the destroy command. I think that'll work. Yeah, let's try that. Let's see what happens if we do this. I also realized I didn't type in unit ID 2. There we go. Okay. Yep, I like this. This might do something. Okay. So inside of our building, this is our event to show stuff. We're going to have a build custom event. Now we're going to need our interfaces, because we're going to subclass these into our children, just in case the children have specific stuff we want to do. Yep, okay. So let's do some interfaces. Interface. This is the blueprint interface building. And the building will have the build. I know it should be construct, but probably not. And it's going to have destroy. And that's all the buildings are going to have. Build and destroy. Yeah, why not? We'll call it build. We can always rename it later. Is it possible to save any data to outside of the game? For example, as a text file. It is not in blueprints. You'd have to use a plugin, or you'd have to use C++. In C++, you have the normal file I/O systems, so you could do that. In pure blueprints, no, unfortunately, they don't have file handling, and I really wish they did. It would be really cool. Okay, building. Our building is going to implement building. All right, so building. So our events were build, event build, and destroy. Oh, and the nice thing is we can really simply do the destroy one. Okay, and this one is simply going to be destroy actor. And these are all in the parent because we can override these later if we want. And print string, and we're going to do debug. I was told to build. Oh, we don't want to do that. We want to do okay, shoot. Man, I was hoping to do this in the format string, but then I'd have to convert, so that won't work. I was told to build like that. There we go. Now our interface itself, what do we do with our interface? build is going to have the unit ID to build. Unit ID. And we're actually going to return back a Boolean on success. Just because I want to do that. And did I just literally put that on the destroy? I did. Seriously? Oh, man. That was not what I intended to do. Okay, so we'll go back to this. We'll do unit ID. There we go. Now hopefully we'll actually build properly. And of course I screwed up. Yeah, because I screwed up destroy, which doesn't count. Go away, destroy. Thank you. Then we get rid of our destroy event, get rid of our build event. Redo this again. Because I screwed it up. There we go. And this stuff we're going to pull out of here. We have our build event. Slap it into here. Return back a success because we're just debugging. Grab our interface, change our unit ID into an integer, and pass that along into here. Okay, so now in theory, if we call build with a unit ID, it'll at least tell us, hey, you're trying to build something. Okay, so somehow now we need to hook that up between the interface and the item that we are working on, which shouldn't be an issue with the way we set everything up. And I know I'm just clicking on stuff at random because I'm kind of talking to myself on doing this. So here's our HUD. Here is our action item. This is the thingy that holds the stuff. What we want to do is we're going to store the action type, which is going to be our enum action items. What's it, action items? Yeah, okay. So we need to change that. That is already confusing me. This should be the action type. Okay, there we go. Naming structure and naming conventions is really smart. If you don't do it, it's going to bite you in the ass. And I'm not doing it, so it's biting me in the ass. Okay, so action type. So this is going to be our action type. We're going to pass in. And then we are going to pass in another variable called unit ID. Because if we're building something, we're going to pass in the unit ID to build. And that information is going to go into here. And then when we click, now we need to know what we're talking to. So probably when we create these buttons, we should have an owner. We should pass it along the owner. Because I don't want things listening. We're going to pass along an owner is what we're going to do. And that's not spelled properly either. I've had a fun day spelling stuff today. This will be a generic actor. The nice thing using interfaces, we can do everything generically. Okay, cool. We're going to have those three types. Let me go back to here. Okay, and someone asked a question. When adding physics impulses to actors, is it possible to add the impulse as a vector in relation to the actor? Or you can only add impulses specific to bones? I thought you could just basically add an impulse and you tell it where it adds it at. I could definitely be wrong here. Impulse to the mesh. Yeah, this should be the let's see, vector in relation to the actor. I see what you're saying. So you want to impulse it from a certain spot. I mean, well, if you do none, it does the root body. I don't know if that helps, but if you did none and you told the impulse from the location you wanted it at, the magnitude and direction, that should work. Yeah, because none's the root body and the impulse is the magnitude and direction. Yeah, well, I mean, like, for example, if you want it along the x, you would just, in a value of 10, you'd say 10, and then boom, it's going to apply it along the x at the this position. Yeah, for a specific point, you're not really going to be able to do it. Unless you have bones there. You can't apply specific. Well, if it's a physics object and you shoot it, you can add impulse at the hit point, can't you? I want to say you can't, but that's using. But see, that's using the default physics system. I mean, maybe you could. It's probably best to add a bone. Other than that, I mean, just as a thought, what if you treat it like it was two physics objects? You had a bullet, for example, or a ball hitting it at the end. You could technically spawn in something invisible, but still have its collision parameters, and have it exert the force at that point that you want. Because you could find the point that you want through math, and then pull it back a little bit, your whatever distance you need, spawn in something, give it an impulse blast in the direction you want, so it hits it at that point. It's kind of a weird way of doing it, but it would mimic real world physics, because that's what you want, it sounds like. Here we go. Add impulse at location. Okay, so look, there's an add impulse at location node. Which, why did that not come up when we tried it earlier? Okay, well, apparently there's an add impulse at location node that you can work on too. Yep. So apparently you don't need to do all that fancy invisible stuff if you just use this node. How to disable the console button? I believe we can just... Right here, you have under console and project settings, you have the console class, and then down here you have console keys. If you get rid of the console keys, it should get rid of the console. Like right now I have no console. I have the console in the editor because it's separate, but inside the game I have no console now. So project settings, search for console, engine input, and then you have console keys. And then I need to add my console key back. So that's probably what you want. And this is the one for the editor itself down here under system-wide. So if you nuke this, then you can't open it in the editor. So now I have my console back. Yeah, that is super duper funny that we were trying to basically recreate this node, faking it when it's hiding. There's a lot of nodes that are hiding. Okay, so if we click this button, what are we going to have happen? We are going to grab the owner, and no, actually we need to switch on enum, which will be our... Did I rename that horribly? Wait, where's my enum? Oh, no, that's right. Okay, so there's my enum. There we go, cool. So let's just go with something simple. So if we're building something, we're going to grab this. We're going to tell it to build. And we task in the target unit ID, like that. See, that should be pretty simple. If we tell it to attack, I don't know. We don't have anything set to attack right now. If we set it to destroy, then we tell it to destroy. There we go. Now we've set up technically two things for our button. Oh, I actually kind of need to tell what to call the destroy event. There we go. And let's just print string. Boop, boop, ba-doo, boop. Oh, I can't wait for the new DuckTales TV show. Let's see. Attack type. And then we have stop action. I don't know why I said type when it's supposed to be an action. Action. There we go. Okay, cool. So that's probably something really simple. There's a generic button interface now. So if we hit... Oh, we probably want to pass this in, or else we're always going to get billed. So all we need to make sure now when we create these things is that these things are passed along when they are created. Like this. Oh, seriously? I don't know why it doesn't automatically mark it editable if you're going to click on Expose on Spawn. I have no idea what I said out loud. I can't wait for the new DuckTales TV show? Or I say something else? Because I don't know about you guys, I was listening to the DuckTales theme song just then. Okay, so our buttons are now set to do stuff, but our buttons don't know about any of this stuff yet. So let's find where we create our buttons. We should be inside of our... Not inside of our HUD itself. It should be inside of our HUD class. Wow, I have 3 different HUDs. Oh yeah, no. Oh, the new DuckTales on Disney XD looks awesome. Okay. Create action item. Here we go. And this is super simple. So now we go back to our event graph. We have our create action item. We have an action type and a unit ID. And we have an owner, technically, from somewhere. Where's our owner? Crap. We're going to have to get a reference to our owner, which is our current selected object, actually. We already have that, so that makes it even easier. So create action item. We need a type and a unit ID. We'll go bloop, and we'll go bloop, and we'll go action type, and we'll go unit ID. Oh, this is unit UD. I think I have misspelled every other word at this point. Integer, and this will be enum, like that, and then we'll pass that along because we're going to pull that right out of our data table, and we'll pass that right along. And then inside of here, look at that, we'll pass that right along when we create something. The owner will be the current selected object. He is who owns these buttons. That is who told us to do something. And okay, let's see what happens when we hit play. So we hit this button. We do this. Oh, I was told to build 0, told to build 1, and apparently that's my destroy button. Ah, did I hook up that one wrong? That's funny. I bet you. Where's my definition? There we go. Oh, yep, I set that one up to destroy. So technically that one worked fine. We actually just saw the destroy button work on accident. That one should have been build. Let's see, where is destroy this item? We'll hook this one up to destroy. So destroy is going to be ID 4. Let's go into our default building right here, and we are going to set up its default actions. We are going to have these all set as 0, except for our buildings down there, and we're going to set this one up as 4. So now this building should have build, 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 and destroy. Obviously, this should clear itself out after destroy. But again, this is just trying to get stuff working. I wanted to actually be able to talk. So now, in theory, we have, obviously, some of these things are going to fail because I don't have an object to talk to anymore. But we have stuff where when we click on things, our default, what is our default? We should probably set up none as a default. Anyways, we now have it where we can click on stuff. It has unique things defined based on our data table, and it has unique actions based on that. So technically, this was told to build something. If we open it up and we could change this up to spawn actor from class, we know this is working now. We'll get rid of that. We'll move this over to here out of the way. Let's see, get, let's make a unit data table because we can. So, which means I need to make a structure holding the data inside of the unit data table. So this will be an RTS HUD unit. Wait, no, first of all, RTS HUD struct unit. Unit. Wait, a structure, yep, unit. Okay, so this will be the ID. We'll call it unit ID to keep it consistent. And we'll call it name. And technically we would have a blueprint here, but I'm just going to call this the mesh. Technically this would be a class. Ask it. No technicallys about it. We will make it a full class. So class of parent unit, name of string, ID of integer. Okay, we'll go with this for default. -1, name, default, class, none, because we only have our one right now. I guess we'll do our generic one. Okay, cool. Make a tutorial about destructibles. I've done some basics on destructibles, but like Getty just brought up, Epic did a fantastic stream on destructibles. And it should be archived on Twitch already. So we'll pull that up. And right here. So if you go to there, go to the, oops, let's close this. Go to the Unreal Engine, go to the videos. The second one here is a training stream on destructibles, and he goes through a fantastic example project he created, and he covers destructibles very, very well. There's a lot of options in there. In addition to that, I want to say that in the forums, let's see if we can find it. He was supposed to also try to give people access to the example project. So let's see if it's in here yet. No, these are not in there yet. Let's see. Events. Destructible features. Oh, no, I know why not. Inside of the forums, in the events section, under destructible editor features for March 7th, you'll find Tim's website. Tim's website has that information in here. And he should have the downloadable example in here for the stuff. You just got to find where it's at. He's got some hints in here, but he should also have, here we go. Free sample projects, destructible settings showcase. This is the destructible settings project that he created and he showed. So this will give you, this one's really cool. It's a bunch of content examples showing you how all the different features work for the destructibles. So yeah, I would look at that stuff. If you still have issues, see if it's for a specific thing, and I'll see if I can help you about that. I've only worked a little bit with destructibles. There are so many options in destructibles, it's not funny. But I have done a video on the basics of them. I would recommend Tim's stuff. I probably should have posted the URLs before I closed that down, didn't I? That's just figures. Okay, so let's put... Oops, let's, well, here's Tim's website. Oops, let me delete this. Okay, so there's Tim's website. And under tutorials near the bottom, you find the download. And then here is, might as well, I could link the live stream, I realized. I always forget I can link stuff. And then here's the link to the live stream where he covers all of that stuff. And we'll see if that helps, because that would be kind of cool. Okay, struct unit. Okay, so here's all my units. So now I need to make a data table with the units. Ooh, can we right click and make a data table right from this? Aw, you can't. That would be kind of handy. If you could just right click on a struct and make a data table from it. Oh, well, that's a bummer. Blueprints, wait, miscellaneous, data table. Okay, so this is going to be our unit data table. I don't know what I'm going to call this. Let's see. So RTS HUD DT for data table, and then units. Ah, that makes it smart. Units. Yeah, I might have to do a little more research on that, Zachary, but I do know that there are, I mean, if you just want to turn in place, I know that there's forum posts on it. Because you want to get the, basically, well, okay, so here's a question then. I know it's silly, but where are you getting the turn left and turn right movement? Where are you getting the input at? If you're getting the input from a normal input node, you know, like the Like, oh, friggin', where's my stupid input? Project input. There we go, like move right here, for example. So if you're getting, seriously, oh, for Pete's sake, why can't you give me input, you stupid thing? Let's just give me access values. You hate me, don't you? Oh, because I'm inside of a function. Yep. So yeah, if you're just getting your input for move right and left, your access value tells you if it's right or left. Right is a positive, left is a negative. So you can just have your animations driven based on the access value from your move right or left node, can't you? I would assume you can. Sorry, that's just my thought off the top of my head. Isaiah, weather system tutorial. I can add that to my list, but that is something that requires a lot of art and particles and stuff like that, and it's definitely wouldn't be done anytime soon, but I'll add it to my list. What do you mean depends on which direction the character is facing? Character movements locked to the camera position. Okay. But I mean, if the person on the keyboard pushes to the right, you can get the access value from here and know that they pushed right. Or if they push left, you can get the access value and know they pushed left. And then once you want to do a right rotation or a left rotation in the local space of the character, based on if they pushed right or left. Unless you want them to always go left or right based on the camera. I guess that could be true. Or different. Is it where you push right on the input, and if they're facing the camera, you want them to move to their left? Is that what the issue is? So you want it to be relative to the camera? And not relative to the character? Forward is left for the player if they're facing right in the game. If they're facing right in the game, okay. Forward is left. Do you mean up? Yeah, up would be left for the player. Okay. So I see what you're saying. Damn, that's a very good question. Shoot. I don't have the math for that. That requires math. It requires, I'm pretty sure, a dot product to determine your left and right angles against the player, the camera. Let's see. If the camera's that way and you go that way, oh, crap. I don't have an answer to that one. I wish I could help you out. That requires, I mean, you basically, you'd have your camera angle. So, like, your camera's forward direction, and then you have your player's direction towards the camera. I don't know. I wish I could help you out with that, Zachary, honestly. If you still have problems, I can see if I maybe work something up Monday. But yeah, it's camera relative movement for the controls, and then you need it to rotate properly. That I understand completely now. And I definitely don't know how to... Well, what happens if we Google that? Turn plays camera relative. Camera relative movement. Oh, Unity came up as an answer. Unity actually came up as only the answers. Ah! That's funny. Oh, well, if it's math, we can still steal it from Unity. Oh yeah, this one doesn't work because this one's kind of camera relative, but not proper. No, I don't. The only thing I could suggest is maybe checking the forums or the Discord channel and see if anyone has any suggestions. That's something that requires... It's going to require, like, dot product and vector math, and I barely can do proper math, like addition and subtraction. I wish I had the answer to that one, but I don't. See if you can get it working. If you can't on Monday, we can try and see if you're around. I can see if maybe there's something I can help you out with. It's about all I can suggest, unfortunately. I wish I could, because that would be kind of cool. Whoops, that's not the peon. That's how you spell the peon. Peon, seriously, N key. Unit ID 0, name, peon of doom. And I don't have a unit for the peon. I should probably make one, but let's just create bloop, bloop, like that. So that was wrong, because that was 1, and this will be the archer. And I think this is the archer. If not, I screwed up. 2, and this would be the warrior. Okay, and this would be the warrior. Okay, cool. Now, right now, we're just going to spawn generic more units in, which is kind of an issue for another problem, but not much of a problem here. Okay, cool. So we're going to let's see, get data table, row names, units. Then we're going to get the one at ID. Assuming that I did that properly again. Yep, 0, 1, and 2. 0, 1, 2. Okay, cool. And then we are going to then get data table row from this row name, from the units. There we go. And this will give us our unit. Then we can split this, and this will give us our class to spawn. Like that. This is going to fail miserably here, but that's just because I have nothing set up right. We're just going to spawn something in like 200 away for now. Obviously, you'd want things like a rally point and things like that, but well, I'm not really caring about that right now. I'm just trying to get something working. And then we'll return back a okily dokily. Okily dokily. Something doesn't... Oh, row not found. Okay, so you should be not success. Okay, I literally have no idea what's going to happen. Let's find out. We have this clicked on. We click on this. And I think I broke something. Okay, obviously I broke something. Let's figure out what we broke. We click on this. We click on this. Okay, we broke our interface at some point. That's kind of cool. Let's see how we broke our interface, shall we? Action item. And now is it inside of here? Oh, this is probably... Let's find out if this is where it's failing. Okay, so click here. Action type build. Okay, cool. No, that's good. Is our owner is the building. Okay, that's cool. That should be fine. Frame skip, frame skip, frame skip, build. Unit ID 0. Okay, well, cool there. Frame skip, frame skip. Oh, I'm a dum-dum. I'm a dum-dum. Nope, everything's actually working fine. It's just my concept of relative vectors is failing miserably. So we have a building here. If I click here and build, we should get another one. We get a unit, we get a unit, we get more units every time I click on stuff. Me being a dum-dum, instead of me building out, spawning them relative to the parent, I'm spawning them relative to the world. So they're going to spawn out at 200.00 in the world. Because I'm a dum-dum. So let's set up a rally point. We can do that really easy. Obviously, if you have AI and stuff like that properly, this wouldn't be an issue. This will be the spawn point. And this is going to be a... let's add a billboard to this so we can make it a little more relevant on the spawn point. This is going to be a little analog dude. And then we grab our spawn point and we move it out like that. And now we should have a spawn point. There we go. And we'll move this around so it looks like that. Now we have somewhere that's defined as a spawn point. So in theory, if we click here, something should spawn there if I hook it up properly. Go over here, and we will recombine, grab our spawn point, transform. We want the world transform, and plug it into there. And we'll play, we'll click on here, we'll hit build, and boom, we have something that built. We'll click on here, we'll build it again, and build again. We're building a bunch of crap. You can't see it, obviously, because there's no intelligence on here. But we're building stuff. Hooray! That's what we wanted. We actually have something working. Now, in theory, if we were to go in here and start subclassing, so for example, this would be the unit peon, and then we could subclass to unit archer, and we subclass to warrior. Now we have our individual units, and our peon, for example, oh, we'll make you red. I think that turned to red. There we go. And then we can have our archer. He doesn't want to be a cone anymore. He's gonna be a roundy thing, and he's gonna be green. And our warrior, he's gonna be, oh, he's gonna be a pair of goggles that are gonna be much bigger because those are way too tiny. There we go. Cool. And now we can go back to our data table now that we have actual units and find our unit data table and assign the units. So our peon is the peon, and this one is our archer, and this one is our warrior, like that. And we should have valid things we can spawn. So we click on here and say peon, we get peon. We click here and click warrior, we get a giant warrior. We click there, whoops, we click there and click that, and there we go. Now we got our warrior working. So we have dynamic interactable stuff, because if we had a different building in this case, so let's say for example we had this is technically our base building. So at this point we'd start subclassing. So we'd want, for example, this one's going to be our building for archers, and then this one will be our not blueprint class. Seriously, where'd it go? Oh, okay. Duplicate. There we go. Oh, I did want that. Okay. Building. Okay. Let's just do something really funky like this. This is what we're gonna do. I know what we're gonna do. So here's our archer building, and our archer building is going to be green. Wait, we made our warriors green. We made our archers red. Let's do that. There we go. And we'll make our warrior building. We're gonna make him green to match his warriors. Cool. So we're good there. And then I don't need the child because that was an accident. And then our main building. Here we go. So let's duplicate this, and this one's gonna be our town hall, like that. And then our town hall has oh, what color you want to make your town hall? I don't know. I get some really weird stuff in here. I don't know what this one is, but this looks kind of cool. We'll go with that for a town hall. Cool. So now we can get rid of this in theory. Oops, stop it. Get rid of this. There we go. So now if we design this properly, for example, if we have a town hall, this is our default town hall. And our town hall can have, in our default settings right here, it's simply going to be able to build peons and nothing else. And our warrior building will be able to build warriors and nothing else. Well, warriors are 9, so we probably want to put 9 in there. And then our archer building is going to build archers and nothing else. There we go. So now we have 3 different buildings that should only build one thing when we click on them. And so if we click on him, we should only see that, and he should only build the archers and destroy himself. So cool. If we here's our warrior building, he should only be able to build warriors. Correct. Wait. Did I oh man, I named these things wrong. Okay, our warriors are our black building. That's what went wrong. I forgot our peons were green. See what happens while a design document, we start going crazy. Let's go with that. There we go. Okay. So there we go. Our warrior building builds black visor warriors. We don't have a peon building on purpose. My archer building is supposed to be green. So we'll go in here and make it green. And we'll test it. We'll drop an archer building in here. Whoops. And we click on it and we build it. Boom, we get an archer, so we're good there. So our town hall is our biggest one. Our town hall should only build peons. If we did that one correctly, which I'm pretty sure we did, right? And this one should build peons. There we go. So now, if we did this properly, what we can do here is we're going to find our default. So let's find our HUD and find our default action items. Now our default action items, we're going to wipe everything out to be safe. Okay. So now we need to figure out what our default action items are going to be. Now our default action items probably should be, this is when we have nothing selected. We should probably have the ability to basically build our town hall. So do we have that ability right now in the stuff we've defined? So build peon, build archer, build warrior. I'm thinking I'm going to change this to construct town hall is what I'm going to do. Town hall. So 6 is going to be construct town hall. And that's going to be a build. And it's actually not. It's not going to be a build. So we're going to have a whole new one in here. Technically, build would be fine, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to make its own unique thing so we can throw more crap in here because why not? So we have a new action. We're going to call this one Construct Town Hall. And now we have a new action, which should be easy enough to set up in, let's see, I think I need to, how do we get these things to refresh? There we go. Construct Town Hall. Boom. So there's our Construct Town Hall. So that means inside of our button here, we have a new one called Construct Town Hall. We don't actually have an event for that. This doesn't talk to anything because this one's not actually going to talk to anything when we push the button. This button is going to be linked to our HUD only. We should tell our HUD that it needs to construct a town hall. Now our HUD would our HUD be smart? Probably. We're going to do it in the HUD anyways because it'll be easier on me. Oh, seriously. Oh, it's off the stupid controller. Sometimes I wish the context sensitivity wasn't as... Wait, it is off the controller, right? I'm not crazy. No, get HUD. Seriously? Oh, some of these things are so annoying. Then we're going to cast this one to our RTS HUD. And we're going to make a... RTS HUD. Where'd you go? There you go. Inside of here, we are going to have an item called, let's see, custom event. This will be create town hall. We didn't call it create, we call it construct town hall. There we go. Cool. And this one's going to be really simple for testing purposes right now. Spawn actor. We have no interaction at this point. We have no mouse interaction in terms of because technically when you click on something then it should ask you to well, let me rephrase that. Buildings that build stuff like units has a rally point, so that's not an issue, but things like where we click to build things in our world like this town hall should have mouse handling built in. We're not going to work on that today. We will work on that on Monday because hopefully we'll be wrapping this up here soon. Bam. Town hall building. We're going to spawn it. For now, we're just... Can I split, please? Thank you. We're just going to spawn this in the world for now. 0, 0, and up. Oh, 100. Can I please type 100? Thank you. Okay, we're just going to do that. Okay, cool. And this one will be construct PR. No, construct town hall. There we go. Construct town hall. Okay. There we go. Cool. So our default action items. Does anyone remember what number that was? Action type. Construct town hall is number 6. So we'll have number 6 assigned to that, like that. Okay, cool. And we'll hit play. Now if we do that, we should have a building. You know what? I need to move. We need to work on the camera. So default pawn class, none. There we go. Cool. We got no default pawn class. Not an issue. We need a camera. Camera. I know you're here somewhere. Camera. Seriously. Isn't it just like a camera? Camera, yeah. Obviously, this is a really crappy control setup because this is just to... Whoa, that was the wrong rotation. I need the relative rotation. Thank you. Pull back out a little bit like that. Okay. Now, this shouldn't work because I'm not possessing the camera, but that's not an issue. Okay, camera actor, click. Yep. Blueprints, level blueprint, check. Create a reference to the camera, check. Set view target with blend. Seriously. View target with blend, check. View target, check. Target, get to player controller, check. There we go. Now we've got our view. So if we click this, we should get a building in the middle. We click on that. We can destroy it, or we can build. I literally don't remember what this one was, but okay, peons. There we go. Yep. So that'll build a peon. Or if we had other options, we could build other stuff because we'd want our peons to be able to go build other stuff. And that would be pretty simple. For example, we could click on our peon, and our peon would have its controls for, you know, building the warrior hall, building the... So we don't even have those in there, do we? So you know what? Looking at here, yep, we would need things for construct. What would that be called? Archery range. See, I'm way past the time I should have stopped, but this is just way more fun filling this stuff in. Construct archery. I'm definitely going to stop before I actually start doing the mouse interaction, because that's going to take way too long. Construct archery. You know, this would really help if we had real artwork in here. Okay, so it looks like at this point, this is kind of stupid to have a single event for construct town hall. So someone should have mentioned that earlier, that that was going to be a bad idea. So we'll just have to break that out into its own construct event and do the same thing with unit IDs. So we'll have buildings will have their own IDs. So like the town hall could be 0, archery range could be 1, a warrior thing could be, you know, the next one. And I think I'm going to end it right there when we get this set up. Then we can work on Monday. We'll re-split out the construct one into its own function type, just like the build one is. And then we'll work on getting mouse interaction, so that way we could, for example, click on stuff and tell it to build things in certain places. Yeah. And then that, in theory, technically, after all of this, even though it doesn't seem like it's much, that does give us the basis of a RTS HUD that's dynamic. Construct barracks. I'm just going to steal all the World of Warcraft names because those are the ones I know. What would be a cool one for a barracks? Gear, that'll work. And this will be a construct, which is, of course, broken right now because we never did that. Okay, cool. Oh, I gotta stop hitting save. There we go. Okay, cool. So that gives us some constructions, gives us some builds. Everyone, in theory, has its own things you can set up. So if we were to now go back to here, this is what I meant to do. Peons can build town halls, archery ranges, and barracks. So they can build 6, 10, and 11. So if we go to our peon unit, which I apparently lost. There we go. Our peon unit, and we open him up. Well, we didn't need to open him up technically. He has, I want the defaults. Here we go. I want his defaults. And he can build, was it 7, 10, and 11? I guess we'll find out. This would also be a really good way of, let me find out. Let's build this, click him, build a peon, click the peon. There we go. So we have that one, that one, that one. 7, 10, and 11. They obviously don't do nothing right now because I don't have things hooked up properly, but that's fine. Yep, so let me double check 7, 10, 11 before I start Monday stream and get completely lost. Nope, 6, 10, and 11 is what it should have been. So 6, 10, 11. What I'm thinking we'll do on Monday also is adding in tooltips, because we do technically have in here a name for everything, so we can put the name over the item as a tooltip. Christopher, you joined right when we're ending. We have been working the last 2 days at trying to make a dynamic RTS-like HUD. So for example, if I click on nothing, I have the ability to build something, which builds my town hall. Clicking on the town hall gives me the ability to destroy it or build a peon. So I have interactable HUD that adjusts based on what I want. I can click on here. My peon gives me the ability to build these 3 things. We don't have any other interaction stuff yet. We're just trying to show how to do a dynamic user interface. So my user interface changes based on what I'm clicking on, and then what I click on has events that react to, and I can do things. So that's what we were working on yesterday and today. Monday, we will work on wrapping up the HUD basically by trying to make it where we can click on stuff properly. So for example, building a base, building a peon. Now when you build the peon, if you're going to build like a barracks or an archery range, we want to be able to place it somewhere. So we're going to put basic mouse interaction in. I'm going to add tooltips because I'm getting really annoyed at not having proper icons. And then we need to break out our construct event because we kind of did something stupid and made it where the construct event only builds one thing instead of being dynamic. So we have to do that. But other than that, I'm happy. I'm happy with where this is going. This is a good, basic, dynamic system. And since everything's kind of event-driven based off of data in here, we can easily add another unit, for example. We could easily add another action to go onto our bar, and then everything has its own mapping internally for what gets shown based on the default action items. So that's going to wrap up today. I streamed for an hour and a half today. I appreciate everyone hanging out. I know we had some really weird questions. Some of them I wish I could have helped more of, but if it's art related and animation related, unfortunately I don't have the skill set for it yet. But I'm happy with the progress on this RTS stuff so far. We had a small audience today, so it was nice. I appreciate everyone hanging out. Apparently, Rodrigo has named my game already. He's called it Cube Empires, which actually is kind of cute. I like that. You know what, Rodrigo? We might, when we add in the little bit of basic AI and we add in the little bit of multiplayer, you know, again, to flesh this out as an example, I might just throw a title screen on it and call it Cube Empires. I like that name, since everything's pretty much, you know, cubes. Or we could call it like ISO Empires, like isometric. What the, or basic primitive? No, I like Cube Empires. You know, we could just do cubes for everything of different colors inside. Oh, we could, crap. See, you started with just a simple name. Because I could do something like, for example, our archer units. There's nothing stopping me from just grabbing a bunch of cubes and stacking them together into an archer. Okay, so anyways, that got me completely off of topic of ending this. But I do appreciate the feedback. I like that. I might spend a little bit more time than I planned just to flesh this out a little bit more. I'm not making an RTS game, but I'm making this as an example of the interactable UI, and then we're going to throw in the stuff we've learned for the AI, interactable UI, and then we're going to throw in the recent learning of the networking and AI to try to bring it together into something. Okay, so that's it. I appreciate everyone for hanging out again. You can get a hold of me on YouTube, Beam, or Twitter. I stream on all of them. The next stream will be Monday at approximately 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific, which is roughly an hour and 20 minutes before now. I hope everyone does have a good weekend or whatever they're going to work on. If you need to get a hold of me, you can leave a comment on the YouTube or in the About section on YouTube. You can feel free to send me an email if you need to. If there's anything you need help with, try to ask during a live stream. It's the best way to do it. If I can't help you then, we try to find you some help. If not, we try to put you on the list and see if we can help when I can learn more stuff. I think that was it. Pretty sure that was it. Other than that, I have to go deal with sick people. And I have to find some way to finish Zelda, because apparently there are 120 shrines in that game. And I've done about 15, so the game is retardedly huge. I did not realize how big that game was. And by play Zelda, I actually mean, you know, work on example projects. I don't mean play Zelda. I would never play games instead of working. So that's it. Everyone else have a good rest of their weekend. The stream will mute for about 30 seconds or so it doesn't just disappear into the ether. I appreciate everyone. Have a good rest of your weekend.